2 weeks ago, I stumbled on this video on the Shade Room.
Like, this is acting like everything's fine. Someone sent her the post from my fence and she DM'd me and she's like, I don't want to be nothing like you, Dr. Phil Loser. And your bum man keeps hitting me up. He wants me so bad, confessing his love to me, So, yesterday, she sends me,
At first, I was shocked. I was like, wait, isn't this the Cash Me Outside girl? How did she end up looking so different? Almost like she's trying to appear black. Last year, I made a video on Alabama Barker and how some celebrity kids are made to look much older than they really are. And in this video, I mentioned Jodie Woods, Alabama Barker, Miley Cyrus, and other child celebrity stars. And here I discussed specifically about Alabama Barker and Jodie Woods. But when it came to Alabama Barker, oh my god, that's such a tongue twister. But when it came to Alabama Barker, here I spoke about how she seemed too grown for her age. But what I didn't expect was her seeming to change her entire racial identity, almost as if she were either mixed or black. The concept of blackfishing, or as some people call culture vulture, it has been around for a very long time. And no, I'm not just talking about Miley Cyrus. This started way before Miley Cyrus decided to act black to seem more mature or make a mockery of the black culture.
Only to come out looking like a Purdue f***ing chicken on the stage and then got mad and went back to country music. Bitch, sit your stupid ass
So divided.
Which, by the way, is another example of how black people are often unfairly seen as more adults than they really are, aka adultification of black girls. And when I did my video on the adultification of Blue Ivy, some of y'all were coming for me in the comment section, and this is just another reason why I say Blue Ivy has been adultified, because for some reason people of other races think that in order to be seen as more mature or no longer a child, they have to act black. So now, where were we? Were talking about Miley Cyrus. Before Miley Cyrus, there was Madonna. Yes, Madonna, we'll talk about that later on. There was Elvis Presley. And in later years, we have Iggy Azalea, we have the Kardashian, the whole clan. And in case you guys don't know, I have a dark psychology video on them. And did we forget the clown, Rachel Dolezal? I keep forgetting how to pronounce her name. Rachel Dolezal. We also have Billie Eilish. Billie Eilish, one of my favorite musicians. And we have the queen of blackfishing, Ariana Grande. But before I go on, before I continue, let me just take this moment to acknowledge the die-hard celebrity fans who dedicate themselves to defending famous people who don't even know that they do exist. Hello, welcome. Feel free to grab your keyboards and battle in the comment section. And for those who actually understand video essays and critical discussion, thank you so much for being here. Let me tell you guys who I am and let me introduce myself. Hi guys, my name is Jewel and welcome to my channel. On this channel, I just speak about whatever I want to speak about, whether they are trendy or not. I give video essays, critical discussions. I just, feed you guys. We educate each other in the comment section and we have a field day. But that being said, if you want to see my face next week or tomorrow, because I post 2 times a week, kindly like, subscribe, share this video if you care. And thank you guys so much for the love that you guys have showered me in this past year, especially last month. I really do appreciate it, guys. That being said, let's get into the word for today. So the word for today says, your dreams are the blueprint for your future. Pursue them fearlessly. Your dreams are the blueprint for your future. Pursue them fearlessly. And this is from my journal, the Manifesto Vision journal. It's a guided journal. It literally has everything that you need for journaling. It has original shadow work prompts, brain dump, affirmation, literally everything, weekly reflection. This is the ultimate journal. So if you would like to support me, kindly click the link in my description box to purchase this journal, because honestly, there is no journal like this journal in the market. I'm going to tell you guys now. And please, I keep saying, if you've purchased it, please go to Amazon and put a review so that people would see that I'm not capping, and tell me your favorite thing about the journal, because I know a handful of you guys have purchased it. So thank you so much. So now let's get straight into this video. Part 1, blackfishing. What is When it comes to blackfishing, I was so surprised the amount of articles and the amount of publications and media houses that gave the definition of blackfishing. And I'm here to tell you guys my favorite ones and some of the fews that I came across. So let's start with BBC. According to the BBC, blackfishing is someone who uses things like hairstyle and makeup to make them appear darker, as if they have black heritage or are of mixed race. Then we have the Merriam-Webster dictionary, and the Merriam-Webster dictionary explained that blackfishing is a practice. It's literally a practice. It is the practice of trying to give the impression that one is of black ancestry when one is not, thereby altering their appearances or even their speech. We even have health.com. For a health publication to speak about blackfishing, that means it's a very huge problem. So basically, health.com describes it as the action where people who are not born black pretend to be black. CNN even chimed in. Y'all made CNN chime in on blackfishing because honestly, this was really getting out of hand. According to the CNN, blackfishing is when white public figures, influencers, and the like do everything in their power to appear black. But you know my favorite definition? My favorite definition is definitely the one by Medical News Today. And the one by Medical News Today says that blackfishing is a type of interpersonal racism that depicts black people as stereotypes and portrays black culture as a product. And to me, there is no difference between blackfishing and blackface because most, if not all the people that do blackfish, they do it so disrespectfully that it's almost as if black culture is a caricature or a mockery of the human race. The term blackfishing was partly coined by a hip-hop journalist named Warner Thompson, and she describes the term blackfishing as non-black influencers or public figures using bronzer, tanning, Photoshop, or even cosmetic surgery to change their looks to appear black or mixed race. Blackfishing is a term that gained attention in 2018 when journalist Warner Thompson started a Twitter discussion about white celebrities and influencers altering their appearance to look black on social media. She noticed that many people were darkening their skin, they were adopting black hairstyles, and they were embracing fashion that was deeply rooted in black and indigenous people of color. She said that they were doing all this without actually being part of the black culture. The term itself is linked to the long and painful history of blackface, and this is where white people, they would paint their skin to mock black people. Blackfishing isn't about outright mockery, but it still raises concerns about cultural appropriation, which we'll speak about later on in this video. And in case you guys don't know what cultural appropriation is, I'll just give you guys like a brief summary of what it is. Cultural appropriation is the act of taking aspects of a culture without truly understanding or respecting it. Many of those that have been accused of blackfishing, they cherry pick black aesthetics. They use things like makeup, fashion, hairstyles, and even cosmetic surgery to achieve a look that gives them the same level of racial ambiguity. Warner Thompson, she explains that rather than appreciating black culture from the sidelines, some people feel the need to just own it, to just take part in it without facing the struggles and the discriminations that comes with being black. She had an interview with BBC Radio 4 in a segment called Women's Hour, and here she compared blackfishing to white women dipping their foot into the pond without fully getting themselves wet, meaning that they adopt the aesthetic of blackness whenever it's convenient for them, but they never experience the deeper realities of being black. Leslie Bow, she's a professor of Asian American Studies at the University of Wisconsin, and she had an interview with CNN, and here she told CNN that blackfishing is a form of racial masquerade, and she describes it as racial fetishism. And here she said that is where aspects of racial identity are being treated as trendy accessories rather than deep, meaningful traits. She points out that this practice reduces an entire generation of people and their history to a set of cool traits that can be picked up and discarded at any time or at will. The biggest issue here is that while white influencers or white celebrities profit from appearing black, actual black people often face discrimination for the same features. Black women, for example, they have historically been judged or even punished for wearing natural hairstyles, while white influencers, they receive brand deals and they receive social media fame for styling their hair in similar ways. Some brands even send products that are meant for black hair to white influencers and they ignore the black creators who actually need them. Before we go too far, there's someone that we should talk about here. Before we go too far, let me just give you guys an example of blackfishing. Who can remember when Hailey Bailey came and did that brown lipstick and the lip gloss and she called it one name I can't even remember?
I've had enough. Guys, I don't know about y'all, but I've had enough. Ready for all the fall things, including brownie glazed lips. See, I'm mad at myself, actually, because I don't know why I thought Hailey was one of the good ones. I don't know what happened in her branding and marketing that started to make me think that she knew. That she knew? No. See, because it's one thing to appropriate something black and brown women have done for decades and apply this baked good branding that for some reason has been attributed to Hailey Bieber for like the last year and a half, 2 years. You want to be glazed donuts. Now you want to be glazed brownie. What even is a glazed brownie? But I digress. Let me not get petty. I digress. It's one thing to do that, but it's another thing. This is blatantly just to promote her like peptide lip treatment. Rhode came out with a peptide lip treatment, and now not only are you just appropriating it just for like, you know, giggles and to look cute and to look trendy. No, you're literally appropriating it for capitalism to get money, to make money off of something that black and brown women have done for decades, just so you can take credit for it and then apply your product to it. You've been hanging out with the Jenners too much, sis. I need you to.
Meanwhile, that has been known to black people for a very long time, from the Nollywood Y2K era. Even me, I have been doing this for a very, very long time. Literally, I've been doing black lip liner consistently since 2018. Just for Hailey Bieber to come and try to commodify something that has been living in black culture for a very long time. This is an example of blackfishing. In 2018, there was a student and influencer. Her name is Aga. I cannot pronounce her name and I'm not going to try, but it's on the screen here. She was labeled a blackfish and she defended herself. She said that she wasn't being malicious, that she simply enjoyed tanning her skin and she didn't see a reason to stop.
I'm not white, okay? I might be Polish, but I'm not white.
This reminded me of the scene in Friends where Ross went to the tanning salon and he mistakenly tanned himself like 4 times because he didn't know which direction to turn. And then tanning your skin that bad was not okay. But here we are, people are tanning their skin 5 times than they really need to tan their skin. And when they are being called out, they say, oh, I'm just tanning my skin. There's a difference between just tanning your skin to reduce your paleness than to just tan your skin to look black. So many people came, they said that she's benefiting from a culture without truly belonging to it. They said that this is exactly the struggles that black people face. Like, honestly, like, people are trying to be black. Meanwhile, people that are actually black, they get criticized. I don't know if I mentioned it, but there was someone because I did a video on Andrew Tate, and so many of his minions, they were coming for me. And one person had the effrontery to say that I'm jealous of Andrew Tate because he's light skinned. Another person said I should bleach my skin. First of all, why would I want to bleach my skin when people are trying to have my skin? Make it make sense. I am obsessed with my skin. I do not like the winter because it makes me look lighter. My favorite season is summer season because it brings out my true complexion. So why would I want to bleach my skin when there are thousands of people that are dying to have my skin? Why? One of the most extreme cases was Rachel Dolezal. Dolezal or Dolezal. Yes, I tried pronouncing it, but I think I forgot how to pronounce it. Basically, this happened in 2015. Rachel, nobody knew she was white, but she was white and she falsely claimed that she identified with the black experience, and she even led a local NAACP chapter before she was being exposed as white. And guess what? This woman had the effrontery to describe herself as transracial. So transracial is basically a term that is widely criticized because race is not something that you can simply choose or change. Does that make sense? It reminds me of that guy. I can't remember his name. He's British and he wanted to look Korean and he changed his whole aesthetic to look Asian. So basically, I dug a little more into him. Initially, he was going by they them pronouns, but I'm going to get to why he changed it back to he him. He started with wanting to look Asian. After that, he got like backlash from the Asian community and he apologized and then he decided to transition to a black person and he got backlash from that and he went to doctors to do his eyes and everything and now he's giving his life to Christ, or I don't know if he's changed again, but last I checked he's giving his life to Christ.
What you are doing is really giving white savior, like it really is, because you seem to think that you can adopt the oppressions of minorities.
And now he said he has found his identity in Jesus, so he is a Christian. So due to that, from what I have researched, he has changed his pronouns back to he, him, and he's a Christian. That's the last I've seen. That was in 2023. I don't think he's done anything in 2024. And oh, his name is Ollie London. Blackfishing is a very troubling aspect because it treats blackness as a trend. It treats blackness as something to be adopted for personal gain, while real black people just continue to face barriers and discriminations for simply being who they are. Before I go on, I would like to speak about some celebrities from the past and from the present who have blackfished their way into fame because based on my research, the starter pack for a white person to become famous is to be black. So that brings us to part 2. Part 2, recipe for success as a white person, be black. In this section, I'm going to list some of the celebrities that have blackfished their way into stardom by stealing from black people just to create their own brand. And the first person I'm going to talk about is Elvis Presley. Yes, the legendary Elvis Presley. Elvis Presley was one of the biggest stars of his time, but his whole music and his whole dance style, they came from black artists, in case you guys did not know. He took the sound of black gospel and blues music and he performed it in a way that was more acceptable for white audiences. Due to this, he became very famous. Meanwhile, the black artists who created the sound, they were ignored and they were not even paid, or if they were paid far less than he was. Secondly, the Beatles and other rock artists. Like Elvis Presley, many of these white rock musicians in the 1960s, they took inspiration from black artists like Chuck Berry and Little Richard. And these black musicians, they created the foundation of rock and roll, but white artists, they got most of the fame and the money. Before I even go far, country music that people are being so racist towards black people now. Country music was created by black people, but then the white people, they took it and they claimed it as theirs. So now they look down on black country artists that even Shabuzi and Beyonce that deserved to be nominated at least. Shabuzi was nominated, but Beyonce was not even nominated in the Country Music Awards. It took even Billy Ray Cyrus to come out and say, this is not right. Billy Ray Cyrus, he's white, and he acknowledged the roots of country music. He mentioned Lil Nas X, and he said he sure the reason why Lil Nas X was even nominated and even won an award was because he was collaborating with Billy Ray Cyrus. And he mentioned how unfair it was that Beyonce was not even nominated. Let's even speak about how like 5 or 6 years ago she performed with the Dixie Chicks in the Country Music Awards and people were literally bullying her for that because she's black. But people forget that country music originated from the black culture. So many things originated from black culture, but it's been stolen from us. Another celebrity that took blackness and made it their own brand is Madonna. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't know this until I put JLo's video out and I mentioned JLo speaking about Madonna, saying she was speaking shit about Madonna anyways. And I was like, Madonna, the queen of Vogue. And someone was like, Madonna is not the queen of Vogue. It was created by black LGBT trans people. And I was like, what the hell? So I decided to dig more into that, and it just fell perfectly into this topic that I'm talking about. So here I'm going to talk about Madonna. Madonna, she's been known for pushing boundaries in music and fashion. But one thing you guys may not have known, just like I didn't know till recently, was that she often borrowed from the black culture without even giving credit. Her famous song Vogue actually came from black and Latino ballroom culture, but she got all the mainstream success from it. She also used black aesthetic in her music videos and performances, while she never really actually even became part of the culture, even gave as much credit to it.
I never realized how problematic Madonna really was. The amount of times that she committed cultural appropriation would make your head spin. This is La Bonita Madonna, where for a brief time she thought she was Spanish. And at the time I was easily able to forgive this, especially since later on she was in the movie Evita, and I loved that movie so much because I was young. She's also appropriated numerous Asian-based countries: Japan, China, India, Hindu religion. She was heavy into the appropriation of this. I think this is Japan, Egypt, Turkey, Greece. There are a lot of countries that do take part in this, but she's definitely taken from that. Whatever this is, it's also taken from African American culture. The time she wore grills, wearing different braid style, and even cornrow. But I think her most egregious act was how she stole ballroom culture. Years ago, when I took a sociology class, we studied the film Paris is Burning, which is a documentary film on ballroom culture. If you've ever seen the TV show Pose, you know exactly what I'm referring to. But basically, in the 80s, in New York City, there were ballrooms where members of the LGBTQ++ community would dance it out. People that were primarily part of the African American and Latino communities or transgender go to these spaces, these safe spaces, to dance it out and have a good time. And Madonna used this as her inspiration for Vogue, which actually takes many movements and moves that were primarily used in these ballroom spaces. And she used them and she profited off of them. And still today, she is just taking everything and anything she can. I don't know what this is. I found this post from Instagram, almost birthday selfie, birthday nomad magic, Marrakesh. I'm gonna Google that. So that looks like to be a location for Morocco, so I don't know if she's appropriating Moroccan indigenous people. I'm really not sure on this one. But Madonna has certainly made a career out of profiting off of other people's cultures, religious beliefs, and making them her own. Raised eyebrow on that one. Her own.
And this next celebrity I'm going to talk about, this one should not even be of shock or surprise to you. This is the Kardashians and the Jenner, the whole Jenner clan. Like I mentioned in the introduction, I have a video on the dark psychology of the Kardashians. That is a well-researched, good video. So please watch it. I'm going to put it in the card so you guys can watch it after this. So the Jenner clan, the whole family, they have been so famous for blackfishing. Oh my God. Kim, Khloe, Kylie, those three people especially, they have been accused of deep tanning, getting lip fillers, and wearing traditionally black hairstyles like braids and cornrows, and just changing their overall look just to appear more racially ambiguous. They profit from black beauty standards while never facing the same discrimination that black people do. I mean, during the King Kylie era, Kylie was looking all black, and now she's dropped the blackness and she's now white. She's dating Timothy Chamoli. I can't really pronounce his name, but she's dating a white guy now. She's gone back to her whiteness. It's almost like black culture or blackness has been these props that people can just pick up, wear at any time, and then drop it when they feel fit. That's why people get so irritated when people blackfish.
So now that the Kardashians have decided to lean into their whiteness again, I'm seeing a lot of videos similar to this one. And they're essentially comparing Kylie's relationship with Travis to her relationship with Timothy. As you can see, the difference is loud, they say. And it's really not sitting right with me, I have to be honest. Because the Kardashians' history with black men, you know, they've all kind of dated black men periodically throughout the last 10 years. And who cares? I don't care. They can date who they like. But this rebrand in which they're kind of leaning more into their whiteness, at least aesthetically, and then dating white men, you know, they can rebrand if they like. It just feels strange to me the way that fans are reacting by being like, oh, do you see how miserable she was when she was with that black man? And now she's with Timothy and look how happy she is. You know, she is with this intellectual, because, you know, apparently Timothy is really smart and he read books, right? She's with this intellectual white man and suddenly she's smiling. And it just riddles me the wrong way, because the Kardashians have benefited off blackfishing, of culturally appropriating black cultures for so long. And for this switch to happen and suddenly these black men are just demons, right, in their kind of empire of PR. And this is not to say that I'm defending Travis Scott or Kanye West. I'll be honest, both men not interested in the slightest. But it's just a very interesting narrative to frame. It's a very interesting story for them to be telling, and it's not sitting right with me. It's really not sitting right with me.
The next person we're going to talk about is Iggy Azalea. Iggy Azalea, she's an Australian rapper and she built her career by using a fake Southern black accent in her music and changing her appearance to look more racially ambiguous.
Hi, while we're on the topic of how white people will talk like black people in order to amuse themselves or to profit off of it, can we have the conversation about how Iggy Azalea literally started her career by just doing a poor imitation of AAVE? Don't get me wrong, I was bopping the Fancy in 6th grade. I was messing with her. But as I got older, I really thought about it. And if you listen to the way she speaks versus the way she talks in interviews or just in real life, it's very obvious who she's trying to imitate. I say, baby, I do this. I thought that you knew this. And this isn't about canceling her. Don't even get started like, y'all cancel everybody. No. I just want to talk about it and know that I'm not going crazy, because I know that's something that somebody out there has noticed. Because even when I was younger and she first came out, my mom didn't really like to listen to Fancy because she was insulted by it. And I remember at the time there were people who were kind of hinting at it when she first came out, but some other rappers silenced them.
What is the most iconic celebrity beef tweet?
Iggy Azalea is like my albino child I randomly gave birth to in a prehistoric African village during Pangea. My early human brain thought she was demonic because of her albinism, so I wrapped her in a moringa leaf and left her in a cave miles away from the village.
This girl is not even American, she's Australian. Australia right now, this is winter in the UK, they're experiencing summer. This is winter in America, they're experiencing summer. Can you guys see how different the time zones are? They are in a continent known as Oceania. And this woman, all the way from Australia with her Australian accent, she used a Southern black accent in her music video. She changed her appearance, and there's even a picture I saw of her while I was researching. She turned herself like, I was like, is this a black girl? She looked like a mixed race or a light-skinned black girl. She was constantly called out for copying black culture while not also actually supporting these black communities.
Iggy Azalea?
Like, it was a banger.
Who dat?
No, that was
her
favorite
song. She do that. Because she's Australian, so why do you sound like that?
Girl, where did you fucking pick up this accent? Did you watch like 12 movies before you, like, on her flight over, she said, I'm gonna practice my heart.
Her accent? When you deepen on her songs?
No, you're being racist. This is a hate crime, actually. No, what was that one? Walk a mile in these Louboutins. Like, we don't even sound like that, and we're closer to the States. Like, what are you saying?
What you call
Head over heels? No! Izzy, stop it! Is it Izzy or Iggy?
My makeup. She's like faking it. Like,
no, she's literally faking it. Like, it's like she's pretending, which is so crazy.
The next person we're going to talk about, she has a million accents, and that is Ariana Grande.
That's my cookie. That's my juice, okay? Thank you, next. That's what this baby picture says.
The dancing scene in this video was actually inspired by Sweet Charity and the wardrobe.
You know, I love my MAC lipstick. This is the MAC I'm here to talk about today, girl. Come on.
Kill me, get your ass in here.
Don't get me wrong, I love Ariana Grande so much. Like, I listen to her songs over and over again because her songs have longevity. Her least favorite album from is one, The Eternal Sunshine, that she just released. But I have always loved Ariana Grande right from the Nickelodeon days. But Ariana Grande being one of the biggest pop stars in the world, she has changed her appearance so many times over the years. And when she started on Nickelodeon, she had this pale skin, she had this red hair. She was a typical white person. The only thing is that she spoke more like a child because I think that was part of her character. But over time, her skin just significantly turned darker and she began using a more racially ambiguous look. She kind of sometimes changed her accent. Even in an interview, she could change her accent up to 30 times.
I mean, that's the only thing I thought. That's how I felt. I was like, what has happened? Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, I've been writing a lot and
Maybe there's some more, but I would like to do a deluxe at some.
She's been accused of using black scent, which is like a fake black sounding accent. And she's been using this in interviews and in music. And at one point, people even thought that she was Latina or she was mixed. While in reality, my girl is from Italy. She's Italian. She was also called out so many times for cosplaying as a woman of color just to appeal to wider audiences. And now we have Billie Eilish. Billie Eilish is my top three, one of my top three favorite artists in the world. I have loved Billie Eilish since she came out with Ocean Eyes. I know almost all her songs by heart. When it comes to Billie Eilish, do not play with me. I'm even thinking of seeing her later on this year when she comes to the UK. But Billie, we have to talk about you. Come to the front of the congregation because even though I love you, we have to talk. So sometimes in August 2024, Mayowa's World, I love her so much by the way, she made a video titled, "Why is Billie Eilish dressing like a black man in 2006?" And again, like I said, y'all know I love Billie Eilish. Don't play with me. But Billie Eilish, she's faced criticism for adopting black culture in her style and in her speech. I think there's another person that spoke about Billie Eilish. I can't remember. He's a commentary channel. I can't remember his name. His slogan is your pop culture boy. He also spoke about Billie Eilish sometime last month or in November. And that shows how people are noticing how Billie Eilish kind of lives in the black aesthetic while still comes out to look like this pale alternative girl. There was a live where Billie Eilish was trying to speak black and even her own brother had to call her out. I was like, where did that accent come from? Yo, I checked for that video everywhere on TikTok, on YouTube, everywhere. For some reason, it's been deleted off the internet, but there have been people that have reacted to it, so I'm going to put it on here.
And she said to me, "Girl, what you was talking about? I ain't never said nothing like that before."
Tráemela. Come on. This dumbass bitch Jay. Bitch, speak English with your stupid ass.
When it comes to Billie Eilish, she often uses the AAVE accent and she has dressed in oversized streetwear. She even still dresses in oversized streetwear that is heavily influenced by black hip-hop culture. And while this alone isn't blackfishing, the issue is that she benefits from looking cool in black culture while still being seen as this soft alternative white girl when it benefits her.
Billie Eilish being influenced by black culture is a necessary conversation. I understand that a lot of y'all don't really get it and you think that we're just hating or we old and whatever excuses y'all like to use. This is why I do Hoochie History. Because it is very important to acknowledge when you see a trend or when you see someone that is very much influenced by a certain culture to call that out. Nobody said Miss Mamas needs to go to jail. It is important to acknowledge that she is taking influence from a certain group of people culturally who have been discriminated against for dressing this way. And I love Billie Eilish. I love her music. I want you to stay. Ooh. But we do have to acknowledge that a lot of times when these looks and trends are repopularized by white people, that they get named other things, and the people who started those and are the foundations of those looks don't get any credit, don't get any acknowledgement. So we have to call it out. This is how we end up with sticky bangs. This is how we end up with brownie lips. This is how the names of the things that we have created turn into something totally different. And all of a sudden, the braids you've been getting since 8th grade turn into Kim Kardashian boxer braids.
Obviously, that's not everybody that has been blackfishing their way to the top, but that brings us to part 3, when two white chicks fight to be black. In this section, we're going to talk about two girls, Adama Barker and Bad Baby. And what's very ironic is that these two women are literally fighting over the same guy. That's Bad Baby's baby daddy that is allegedly physically abusive, but that's neither here or there in regards to today's topic. But that being said, let's talk about these two girls. We are going to start with Bad Baby. Bad Baby, her name is Danielle Brigoli and she's known as Bad Baby, as most of you know. So basically, she's one of those people who shot to fame in the wildest way possible. Her rise to stardom started in 2016 when she appeared on Dr. Phil's show as a rebellious teen that was always No one could have predicted that her phrase, "Catch me outside, how about that," would blow the internet up and make her famous overnight. But what followed was a journey that would raise serious questions about race, identity, and the exploitation of Black culture in the entertainment industry. Instead of fading into obscurity like most viral people do, Danielle, she turned her moment into a real career. She signed a record deal with Atlantic Records, she started rapping, and she just proved that she was not really a one-hit wonder. People might have just doubted her at first, but she built a name for herself and started creating a fan base that extends beyond her initial Steam status, because Cash Me Outside, how about that? Her personal life, however, has been far from smooth. Growing up in the public eye just meant that every argument that she had with her mom or every new relationship became public gossip. So in case you guys do not know, she had a reality show with her mom and she was always arguing with her mom, always arguing with her mom. She's never had like a cool, close relationship with her mom. Her relationship with her mom has been very, very rocky, and sometimes it shows up on social media when they're having like heated fights and then they later reconcile. So it's just like this love and hate relationship with their mom. And again, in every video where I talk about mothers and daughters not getting together, I used to ask, why do moms hate their daughters so much? I need to know the science behind that. Why do moms hate their daughters so much? Anyways, on the romantic side, she has faced backlash for dating older men, which has raised concerns about her being taken advantage of. Fame at a young age, you guys have to agree with me, it is not easy, and she's had to deal with this in the spotlight. She's faced some heavy challenges along the way. The pressure of constantly being in the spotlight, coupled with the expectation to always remain relevant, has shaped both her personality and her public persona in ways that people, maybe they saw it coming or maybe they did not see it coming. But many young celebrities, they struggle with maintaining their identity, and Danielle Brugeli, she is one of those people. She's no exception to this equation. So one of the darkest periods of her life was when she was in the Turnaround Ranch, and the Turnaround Ranch is a trouble team camp that she was sent to by Dr. Phil. Here, she later revealed that the place was anything but helpful. She said that it was abusive, it was traumatic, it was dramatic, like she didn't like it. It's like a conversion camp. Like, why would you even want to send your child there? But she wasn't alone in these experiences, because other people, other teens that were sent to this camp, they spoke about the camp, they spoke about experiencing similar mistreatment at these types of program. And by sharing her story, Danielle Brugeli, she shed more light on the dark side of these so-called rehabilitation camps, and she became an unexpected voice for reform in the industry.
I was 13 years old when I went to Turnabout Ranch. I feel like it's very important for me to speak on this because I kept my mouth shut for so long. I did touch on it a couple times in different situations, but I really want to get my whole story out there and let everything just be out, because that's the thing with these places is you have no evidence. You don't have a phone there. They don't have cameras there. Like, there's no evidence of none of this. And obviously all the staff is in on it, so they're not going to snitch on each other. All you really have is the kids that are there. A young lady, her name is Hannah, she recently spoke out because while she was there, she was sexually assaulted, and then when she reported that she was assaulted, she was punished by staff. Now, when I seen the punishment she was given, I knew like, okay, I really have to say something. Like, I really have to have her back on this, because I truly believe that they did that. So, Dr. Phil, I am going to give you from now till April 5th to issue an apology, not only to me, but to Hannah and any other child that you sent to Turnabout or any other program like this. And if you don't, I'm gonna handle things my way.
Her willingness to speak up against this institution and her respect from people who may not have previously supported her, and he just showed a side of her that so many people just saw that was not just controversial or it was not just internet antics. Because I can remember when the documentary was released, I watched it and I felt so sorry for her, because she came out and she spoke about it, and it just made me empathize with her and sympathize with her and just say, this is just a troubled teen. But as Bad Baby transitioned from a meme to a musician, her image just underwent a very dramatic transformation. This one once fair-skinned, auburn hair girl just began to look markedly different. Her skin, they appeared darker, her hair texture, they changed, her speech patterns, they shifted, and to many people, it just seemed as if Daniel Brogeli was just engaging in what has become to known today as blackfishing, which is the practice of non-black people, particularly white people, altering their appearance to appear black or mixed race. Bad Baby's rise to fame in the music industry has come with a lot of controversy and criticism. Her first song, This Hoes, made it to number 77 on the Billboard Hot 100, and this proved that people were really paying attention to her music. But with success came backlash, as many people accused her of copying black culture to build her own brand. People have often pointed out that Daniel Brugoli has adopted things like box braid, African American vernacular English, jazz AAVE, and she has even changed her own appearance to look racially ambiguous. And some people say that blackfishing, which means that she is this white person that's trying to look black or mixed race, whether through the hairstyle she makes or the makeup she does or the way that she talks. And this whole controversy just highlights a bigger issue in the entertainment industry. It shows how black culture is often used to profit, while black artists themselves don't always gain the same opportunities that these white people do. Because she is white, Danielle, she has been able to make money and also gain fame by using elements of black culture in ways that many black artists struggle to do. This just reflects deeper problems in the music industry. This is where racism and inequality come in, and they make it very hard for black creators to get the recognition and the financial success that they do deserve. So when white artists take from black culture without truly understanding or respecting it, it can cause real harm. It spreads stereotypes and it makes black culture seem like a trend rather than something that is meaningful, and it also ignores the real struggle that black people face. And on top of that, it takes away opportunities from black artists who should be the ones benefiting from their own culture. Danielle isn't the only one that's been accused of this. There have been so many hip-hop and R&B people that have faced similar backlash, and the music industry just has a long history of taking black culture and just making money off of it without giving proper credit to the people where it comes from. I spoke about JLo and how most of the songs that she sang were sung by black people, and even her hit single that she released, it was meant to be for a black person, but it was taken from the black person and allegedly given to JLo, and she was able to build her career off of the backs of black people. The topic of cultural appropriation has led to heated debate. She got into an argument with Lil Yachty about blackfishing. When she got into the argument with Lil Yachty, it just showed that this woman, she did not really either fully understand the issue or she just refuses to accept it. And I'm not gonna lie, I see Danielle Brogeli as someone who does not think before she speaks. Does that make sense? I feel like she's someone who feels like if someone is talking to her right there, they're trying to attack her. Sometimes if someone is criticizing you, just sit down and decipher what the person is saying before you bark. Literally, because sometimes I'll be doing that, but like sometimes I'm like, you know what, let me just understand like what this person is trying to say. Especially if it's during text message or through text message, I'm like, you know what, let me just take a break, relax, read this over, maybe reply you tomorrow. Because sometimes when people try to come at me with nonsense, I like to reply with intelligence. That's how I like to do my things. So she just comes to me as someone who, if you just tell her one thing and it's not the first sentence is something she doesn't want to hear, she just backs back. She comes off to me as someone like that. But even though so many people have criticized Danielle for blackfishing, she has continued to defend herself. She reacts with anger anytime she's called out sometimes, most times. Her response has only added to the controversy, and it has kept discussions about race, about identity, and cultural respect in the entertainment industry. So now let's talk about Alamaba. Oh Lord, that name, that name is such a tongue twister. But let's talk about Alabama Baka. Alabama Mondays, yo. Alabama Barker was born on December 24th, 2005, and she's always been in the spotlight. Her dad is Travis Barker, and he was part of the Blink 182s. Her mom was a model, and her mom's name is Shanna Mokla. And since she was born, she's always been in the public eye. So when it comes to Alabama Barker, her first appearance came on the MTV show, the reality show that parents had named Meet the Barkers, and this was when she was born. So her fame just set up to life in a world that was full of attention, expectations, and constant observation. Growing up, she naturally gravitated towards the entertainment industry, but as she got older, her journey just became more about experimenting with her identity and navigating the complexities of being in the public eye. She's known for expressing her love for hip hop and rap music, which, while not surprising given her exposure to this world, has also sparked mixed reactions. Some people feel like Alabama's fascination with hip hop sometimes seems a bit forced, as though she's trying to fit into a culture that isn't hers.
Like I get foreign checks when they pay me.
And it's not what I wanna be. Baby, I'm sorry.
Pretty bitch, I'm in that mode. Look like I'm fresh out of vote.
While it's totally okay for someone to enjoy and to be influenced by a genre that they connect with, her connection to hip hop has raised so many questions. She's raised these questions because it feels like she's adopting the culture for attention or to craft a certain image rather than understanding or respecting the culture in a deeper way. Some people are so quick to defend her, and they've come out to say that she's just experimenting with who she is. But one thing you all should know is that when you're constantly in the public eye, those choices can be seen as less about personal growth and more about playing into a specific look or trend.
I miss the days where white women didn't want nothing to do with looking like a black woman. But I did notice, like, poor white women that cosplay black women, they be in it for the long haul. Like, they have multiple black baby daddies. They end up marrying a black man. They have black friends for years. They get their hair done. Even if it's 2 strands left, they still go like, it's in them and not on them. But rich white women, they always revert back. And Alabama Barker, she's 18. I'm gonna give her until 23 until she reverts back to a white woman. 23 is really pushing it. I think 21 she gonna be like over it, but I'm gonna say 23 just to give her some grace. And when she stopped looking like a black woman, she gonna say something weird like, I was being mistreated when I looked like that, or she gonna say something like, oh, it was a trend. And a lot of y'all gonna get in my comments talking about some, oh, she's young and she's having fun. Cosplaying a black woman, that ain't, we can't take off being a black woman. We can't take this shit off. Why you think that's cool? Why y'all think that's fun or that's not cool? All white women know this formula now, and as black women, we really need to stop engaging. But I just want to put my 2 cents in there.
Ever so often, Alabama Barker pops up on my For You page about her blackfishing. This is not her first go round, and I'm pretty sure it's not going to be her last one. I'm pretty sure she's a very sweet girl. I'm pretty sure she has a great personality, and the people around her have nothing but great things to say about her. But this is my issue with people like Alabama Barker. Some may say this is an extremist take, but this is just my opinion. This is just my opinion. I think that people like Alabama Barker, the persona that she puts out and stuff like that, it's modern day blackface. It is modern day blackface. And the difference between back then and now is back then they did it out of hatred and they just thought that it was just like the lowest thing you could be. And now it's more so out of admiration, but even with it being out of admiration, it's still mockery. Because you are still showing us how you view us through how you display yourself. So it still has that same outcome. And it also has the same outcome at the end of this. You can just take this all off. You can just be who you actually are at the end of this. You can take off the wigs, take off the makeup, and you can be little Alabama Barker. You can still be who you are. Just like Ariana Grande has done, just like all the Kardashians have done. You can go back to your default setting. And that is my issue with this. That it is all a costume. And is that not so offensive to y'all? Like, even though she's cool, she could possibly be sweet. but it's still a costume.
Alabama's family life, especially about her father's marriage to Kourtney Kardashian, has kept her in the media. With the Kardashian family's global fame, it's very, very hard not to see how Alabama benefits from that connection. While there is no denying that she has so many privilege, it also sometimes feels like her fame is more about who she's related to rather than what she's done on her own. The Kardashian family's empire has certainly contributed to her platform, and it just leaves some people wondering if she would be in the same level that she is right now without the Kardashian. Before I continue, this is somewhat off topic that I'm about to say, but during my research, I don't know if you guys know Nicki Swift. Nicki Swift, she posted a video on Alabama Barker, and allegedly, she said that the reason, I'm saying allegedly because I do not know, but she said that the reason why Alabama Barker's parents broke up was because Travis was having an affair with Kim and his wife claimed to have caught them. And if this is true, why is Kourtney with him? Ew, why are you with the person that your sister allegedly had an affair with and it ended their marriage? Like, I understand people say full circle moments, but this is a disgusting full circle moment because why are you with him? But then the Kardashians, they can be very, very weird because there have been so many speculations that's come out about them, but that's neither here or there. I just thought I should just give that tea because I hardly give teas anyways.
Reality series called Meet the Barkers, which ran on MTV for 2 seasons back in 2005. The final episode highlighted Alabama's birth, but while she was still an infant, Alabama's parents divorced in 2008 after allegations of infidelity ended their 4-year marriage. Claiming a dalliance between Travis and Kim Kardashian killed their relationship, Moakler later revealed to Us Weekly, "I divorced my ex because I saw them. I caught them having an affair."
So, when Alabama Barker actually turned 17 in December 2022, her birthday celebration was a true display of her growing presence, especially in a world that was filled with celebrities. She wore a revealing red dress that was short, it was tight, and it made her look far more than an adult than she was as a teenager. And it just gave her the appearance of someone that was much older than her actual age. While it's very, very natural for teens to experiment with their looks as they transition into adulthood, Alabama's outfit just seems like an intentional push to present herself as more mature and sophisticated, almost as if she was trying to break away from her youthful image. And to some, it just felt like she was trying to be taken seriously as an adult, but other people couldn't help but notice how she seemed to be leaning into an adult image way too soon. Her choice of dress, which has both been revealing and high fashion, it has seemed to draw attention away from her age and more towards her physical appearances. It's left so many people feel like she was prematurely trying to cast off her teenage identity and step into a role that she wasn't quite ready for.
So I want to talk about ghetto makeup and I want to talk about Alabama Barker because they're both harmful and offensive, one and the same. If you haven't already, look up ghetto makeup in your search bar just so that we can kind of get an idea of what the aesthetic is. But basically, it's what TikTok deems as what they would call ghetto makeup, i.e. you're using lesser products or whoever they would deem would fit into this category. And I want you to take a wild guess to see who they're originally deeming to fit better for this ghetto makeup aesthetic. When I first heard that this was a trend aesthetic, I thought it was like ghetto fabulous, because when I first hear ghetto, I don't think anything negative with the term. No, I think of like Ghetto Fabulous, BET Awards circa 2002. I think of Destiny's Child, like making some shit shake when you don't really have much to work with. Like that's what I'm thinking of. And all of this is wild because if you're a white beauty influencer and you do something that's against the grain or different, it's a hack and you're innovative. But if you are of color, clearly TikTok is going to deem you as ghetto. Which leads me to Alabama Barker and white people in general getting praised for black appropriation or blackfishing at the most extreme levels with Alabama's case, and black people getting the most flack for it. Now, I've heard the arguments made between Kylie and Alabama's little dibble-dabble into black culture, but that's the difference. With Kylie Jenner, it was a dibble-dabble, and we could all see that it was a dibble-dabble. She wasn't wearing the best wigs, the makeup wasn't that great, like, it was a white woman who was appropriating black culture and wasn't fully trying to be in it, but was trying to enjoy the benefits of it. In Alabama Barker's case, she is trying to give struggling rapper Baby Mama realness in everything and turns it on and off whenever she needs to and doesn't see that as harmful. And people want to say, oh, we should give her a pass, give her grace. She is going to be 19 years old in December. She is a young adult. She definitely knows what's harmful and what isn't, especially given into the fact that she was raised on a social media that's way more socially conscious than my generation's social media, you know? And we are quick to want to say, give her a pass, give her grace, give her time to learn. But when it's actually someone who lives this life, like Keisha down the block, y'all are not willing to give her grace. You're willing to demonize her for her choices like that. So just keep that in mind when you're talking about these aesthetics and trying to protect your fave celebrity.
Speaking about Alabama Barker, let's speak about her social circle for a little bit, because researching her, I was like, something looked a little bit odd. Like, I don't understand. So basically, Alabama Barker's social circle is another area that has raised so many eyebrows, especially with me. She often hangs out with a group of black people, and it's becoming very, very apparent that she predominantly surrounds herself with people of color. Some people, they've seen this as a part of her personal style, while other people feels like it's just more than friendship. It almost feels like it's an attempt to curate her image in a certain way. I'm getting somewhere, just hang with me. And this is a dynamic, or this is a term that is often referred to as black grounding. So in case you don't know what black grounding is when light-skinned or white people, they associate themselves with black people, almost like these black people are accessories or backdrops to enhance their own social image. It's a trend where certain people just seem to use their black friends to play into an aesthetic or fulfill a cultural quota without truly understanding or engaging with the culture they are borrowing from. The term backgrounding has been talked about by so many people, like Mayowa's World, which is one channel that I love too. She makes so many good points and she spoke about black grounding. So basically, Mayowa's World, she pointed out how celebrities have used dark-skinned people to make their own images more appealing or edgy. And she also mentioned figures like Rihanna, Tyler, and other people. And again, I understand that Rihanna and Tyler are black, or according to Tyler, she's colored. But again, it is not only white people versus black people. It can also be like light-skinned people having dark-skinned friends, because again, they want to stand out in the group. This is what we know as black grounding, and this is how the friendship of Alabama Barker looks like to me. Anyways, black grounding is a trend or is a phenomenon that has raised so many questions about authenticity and whether these connections are genuine or just a strategic move to fit into a certain narrative. There's another picture I saw of Alabama Barker. She wore like a black dress and she was in the midst of black men or literally black people. I don't think I've seen a picture of her with white people. I don't think I have. And I know earlier last year she was close to Jodie Woods, but I don't think she's as close to Jodie Woods as she was before. I'm not gonna lie, she does not look white any longer. She just looks like a mixed-race person who has a bunch of dark-skinned black friends. So with Alabama Barker, there is a similar sense of her friendship with black people, particularly in the way that they are highlighted on social media. I'm not gonna lie, it seems to be more about her image than true camaraderie, because while it's totally fine for people of different races or different backgrounds to be friends, there is a feeling that Alabama Barker might be using these friends as a way to further shape her persona or to stand out in the midst of people, or again to steal from black people. I'm not gonna lie, her social media presence often features these friends in a way that seems to highlight her connection to them, but it can also come across like she's using their presence to enhance her own status or to fit into a certain narrative about black culture. This becomes very, very problematic when you consider how she changes her appearances, her hairstyle, her makeup, even the way she presents herself all seem to align with black beauty standards. It raises the question, is she truly respecting or engaging with the culture? Or is she simply borrowing elements of it for aesthetic reasons? I'm not gonna lie, during my research, I just remembered there was a publication by Daily Mail. They literally posted it like, I think yesterday or so. And literally, they showed the real complexion of Alabama Barker. She was coming out from the hospital. And this is this girl. This is this girl without all this makeup. She's a pure white girl. So Alabama Barker, like I said earlier, she's been in the public eye since she was literally born. Her birth was kind of documented. But anyways, Alabama Barker being in the public eye has been a little bit complicated. On one hand, she's experimenting with her identity and she's also trying to figure out where she fits. On the other hand, it sometimes feels like she's more focused on curating an image than on genuinely exploring who she is. Her choices in styles, her association with certain people, and the way that she shapes her public persona all seems to be part of an effort to be seen in a particular way. And while it's understandable that a teenager might want to try on different identities, especially when you're as famous as Alabama, those choices, they get put under a much harsher spotlight. Whether she's truly exploring her own identity or just using aspects of Black culture to create a more marketable image, it remains a question many people keep asking. In case you don't know, this girl was a singer. I watched her song and I was like, this is pure white girl singing in the fields and everything with a boy. It was almost like it was country music or R&B or pop. Like, how did you transition from singing this to rap? Because in case you all don't know, she's kind of like a rapper and I think she has a ghostwriter. I was stalking her YouTube channel and she did like an updated makeup video. Then she has like a music video of a song titled Vogue. This girl used to sing in the fields. What literally happened?
Do you remember night sky?
Her transformation has been described as shocking by so many people, and people have come out to point the stark difference between her past and her present social media photos, and they've highlighted noticeable changes in her appearances, and this shift has led to accusations that she's deliberately altering her look to appear more racially ambiguous or to adopt features that typically are associated with Black people. And in response to this criticism, Alabama has tried to defend herself and she's called the backlash mentally exhausting. So, that brings us to part 4, visual aesthetic and altered appearances. When it comes to social media and celebrity culture, appearances, they often become everything. It's not just about looking good, it's about fitting into a certain image that draws attention and gets you noticed. For some, it has meant adopting physical traits and styles that are closely associated with the Black culture, even if they aren't Black people themselves. This is what people refer to as Blackfishing. And Blackfishing, like I said, is a term that's been used to describe when someone, typically a non-Black person, alters their appearance in a way that resembles Black features. Like they can get like darker skin tones, they can make certain hairstyles, or their fashion choices just reflect how Black culture or Black people dress. And when they do this, they do not truly understand or respect the culture behind them. So let's take a look at the two people that we're focusing on in this video, and that's Bad Baby and Alabama Barker. Let's take them for example. Over time, both of them, they have been accused of blackfishing, but it's not just about how they look. It's about how they've used these looks to build their public persona. Bad Baby, for example, she started off in the public eye with her viral moment on Dr. Phil, and soon after, her image just began to shift. She started changing her hair to braids or cornrows, her skin, they appeared darker, and this is a look that is often associated with Black women. These changes, they didn't go unnoticed because people came out and they pointed out that her new look, it seemed almost like an attempt to tap into an aesthetic that wasn't originally hers. And this is something that Black people have faced for a very long time, especially when it comes to the history of discrimination. Because you cannot discriminate us for what we were born with, and then you try to be like us and take every praise or every glory that we should have. Alabama Barker, much as Bad Baby, she grew up with the spotlight on her. She's posted photos online where she has noticeably bronzed her skin or she's tanned her skin, and she also wears like styles that has been linked to hip hop and streetwear fashion, and these styles, they are closely associated with Black culture. Some argue that Bad Baby and Alabama Barker, they seem to be adopting a Black aesthetic, especially when it's a look that has been highly commodified and is now seen as fashionable by so many. But just like Bad Baby, the question is raised. Are they truly celebrating the culture, or is it just another way of profiting off something without acknowledging where it actually came from? The problem here isn't necessarily that they are adopting these visual markers, but that some features like a darker complexion or a specific hairstyle has historically been stigmatized on Black people. Black people, they have faced criticisms for their appearances, while non-Black people who adopt the same traits or status, they don't even face the same kind of prejudice. They are instead praised for it. This is a form of cultural appropriation, and this is where people take parts of another culture, they use them for personal gain, and they sometimes profit from them, all without fully understanding the meaning or the struggles behind those cultural elements. And in as much as we want to bypass this, social media plays a huge role in this. Platforms like Instagram or TikTok, they reward visual appealing and curated looks, and the more followers, likes and engagement that you get, the more opportunities that you have for brand deals and partnerships. But for Bad Baby and Alabama Barker, adopting a certain look that reflects Black culture can help them get more visibility and attention, which ultimately benefits their own careers. But what happens when that look isn't genuinely part of who they are? What happens when they are only using these elements because they are trendy or because it's profitable? This is a tricky situation because while there is nothing wrong with experimenting with style and fashion, there is a difference between appreciation and appropriation. Because at the end of the day, Blackfishing is more than just about changing somebody's look. It's about the broader impact of those changes. By adopting features that are tied to Black identity without acknowledging or understanding the cultural context behind them, celebrities like Alabama or Bad Baby contribute to a cycle where Blackness becomes a trend, but the struggles and the history that comes with it are being ignored. And it's very, very important to ask, who is truly benefiting from this shift in appearances? And are they giving credit when it's due? Because while Bad Baby and Alabama Barker may not intentionally try to disrespect Black culture, their visual choices just raises larger questions about what it means to truly understand and honor a culture. In a world where looks can either make or break careers, we need to think more about the differences between admiration and exploitation, and whether it's okay to take something from another culture just because it's popular or profitable. And that leads us to part 5. If it's not appreciating, it's appropriating. Simple. Cultural appropriation and cultural appreciation, they are closely related, but they have distinct concepts, especially in the context of Blackfishing. Blackfishing occurs when non-Black people, they adopt elements of Black culture. For example, I've said a million times, they have darker skin tone, or they make different types of hairstyles that are similar to Black people, and they do not understand or respect their cultural significance. This is a problem because these features are often stigmatized on Black people, yet when they're adopted by non-Black people, they are praised or they are treated as fashionable, and they create a double standard. Let me just pop into my head, why is it that some white people, sometimes they deny to be white? They're like, no, I'm not white, I'm Irish, I'm Italian, I'm this, I'm that. But you're white. But respectfully, can someone explain in the comment section? Because I would genuinely like to know. It literally just popped into my head right now. Actually, you're a white person. Except there is something behind that I'm not privy about or I've not been educated about. Can someone explain that to me in the comment section? Because literally that just came into my head. But let's continue. Bad Baby and Alabama Barker, they're examples of people who have been accused of blackfishing. Bad Baby, she has changed her appearance by darkening her skin and wearing braids, both of which are associated with Black culture. Similarly, Alabama Barker has been seen with tanned skin, overly tanned skin, and wearing hip-hop inspired fashion. And while neither of them may have malicious intent, their changes just raises questions about whether they are borrowing these elements out of genuine admiration, or they are borrowing it just to simply look trendy or to gain attention by different people. The difference between cultural appropriation and appreciation just lies in understanding and in respect. Cultural appropriation happens when someone just takes aspects of another culture for personal gain without recognizing, respecting its history, and also acknowledging its significance. For example, if Bad Baby had used her platforms to discuss the history of braids or the struggles that are being tied to black beauty standards, it would show respect rather than appropriate. And the problem with blackfishing is that it commodifies black culture without even considering its roots. Black people, they have faced discrimination for their appearance, while non-black people, they often can adopt these features without even facing the same challenges that black people do. Social media amplifies this by using these looks to boost their popularity, but if these features are taken without acknowledgement, it just crosses into appropriation. In conclusion, blackfishing isn't just about appearances, it's about how people engage with culture. When non-black people use elements of black culture for their personal gain without even understanding the significance, it feels exploitative. So to truly appreciate a culture, it's very important to respect its history and its meaning and not just to adopt its features for visibility status. Before we move to the last part, please can you guys subscribe to my channel, like this video and share if you care. It really means the world to me. And now that brings us to part 6, moving forward. Blackfishing is more than just a conversation about styles or trends. It's about the deeper impact of borrowing from a culture without truly understanding it. It highlights an ongoing issue where black features, fashions, and aesthetics are treated like accessories rather than part of a rich history and identity. For many black people, things like dark skin, braids, and certain styles have been used against them for generations, and this has led to discriminations and negative stereotypes. Yet, when non-black people adopt the same looks, often for attention, for clout, or even for financial gain, they are praised or they are seen as trendsetters. This double standard is what makes blackfishing such a very sensitive and a very frustrating topic. The bigger picture here isn't just about Bad Baby or Alabama Barker. It's about how society treats black culture as something to be picked up and put down whenever it's convenient. When people darken their skin, wear traditionally black hairstyles, or adopt the aesthetic of black culture without truly understanding or respecting where it comes from, it can feel like they are taking the cool part while ignoring the struggles that comes with it. It's easy to borrow the look but not the reality that comes with being black in a world that often treats blackness unfairly. So, how do we move forward? The answer isn't just about policing what people wear or how they look. It's about making sure that the cultural exchange comes from a place of respect rather than just using it for a trend. If someone is going to take inspiration from another culture, they should learn about it. They should give credit when it's due. They should listen to the people who actually belong to that culture. This applies even more to influencers and celebrities with big platforms. For example, Bad Baby, Ariana Grande, Alabama Barker, Iggy Azalea, The Kardashians, Bad Bunny, Jack Harlow. So many celebrities, they borrow from black culture and then they act like it's nothing. Just like Jack Harlow, he was like, oh, I'm not hip hop. And they were like, okay, you're not hip hop, bet. And his next album flopped. Because if you're not ready to give credit when credit is due, then maybe you should work on your own. Because if you're going to profit off of black culture, you should at least acknowledge the roots, you should support black creators, and you should also use your influence to uplift the culture rather than just benefit from it and then you'll be like, oh, I'm not hip hop. Again, at the end of the day, blackfishing isn't just about changing your appearance. It's about how we treat cultures that aren't our own. Do we respect them? Do we acknowledge their history? Do we listen to the people who live those experiences every day? If we want a world where cultural appreciation is real and not just surface level, we need to start recognizing the difference between honoring a culture and exploiting that culture. That means we have to be mindful of where trends come from. We have to support the communities that create them. And we have to make sure that culture is respected, not just used as a temporary aesthetic. And guys, that brings us to the end of this video. I really enjoyed creating this one for you guys. Please, if you enjoyed it, please kindly leave a like, comment, subscribe, share this video if you care. And if you want, please purchase my journal. This is a very good journal. Like, I'm not just saying it. This is a good journal. It has depth. It has literally everything. I promise you, if you have this journal, you will not need any journal. This journal does not give you the pressure to journal because it's not dated. It makes everything look zen. It makes your prayer session to look beautiful. Like, trust me. So that being said, thank you guys so much. I really love and appreciate each and every one of you. Until next time, bye.